All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So tonight we're talking about the Green Bay Packers, and I am today even more ecstatic about this team than I have been all week. 1 week into free agency, the first week of free agency, the Green Bay Packers go out there, they pick up Josh Jacobs, former all-pro running back. They pick up Xavier McKinney. They just re-signed A.J. Dillon. We had the youngest team in the NFL last year. Guys, our average age was below 25 years old. We spent a record $118 million on opening day of 2024 NFL free agency. We have our franchise quarterback in Jordan Love with only being 25 years old. Josh Jacobs, 26 years old. Christian Watson, 24. Romeo Dobbs, 23. Jaden Reed, 23. Dontavian Wicks, 22. Luke Musgrave, 23. Tucker Kraft, 23. It's not because of all that. Well, it is because of all of that. If you guys didn't see, so as we know, the Green Bay Packers fired Joe Barry last year or in this year's offseason, and we hired Jeff Hafley, a new defensive coordinator coming on over from Boston College in the NCAA. And if you guys didn't see, Devondre Campbell earlier this morning on St. Patrick's Day was going on an absolute tear. He was absolutely ripping up former defensive coordinator Joe Barry like every Green Bay Packers fan has done since Joe Barry got into freaking town. And what's crazy too is former Packers safety Adrian Amos was just kind of backing him up there. A lot of Packers fans, especially this season and last season when we had Aaron Rodgers still, was like, yo, Joe, what are you doing? And it's just kind of crazy to see guys like Devondre Campbell and Adrian Amos, former Green Bay Packers defensive players, pretty much just say what every Packers fan has said in the last couple of years. So tonight we're going to be talking about week 1 of the Green Bay Packers free agency. If you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with a couple of videos every single week on the Green Bay Packers. Packers fans, you guys are absolutely blessing this channel. I appreciate and love you guys so much. If we could try and get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So I have a feeling Green Bay is not done. Our two big-time names, or two big-time signings, Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. Fun fact, we talked about this in our last Packers video. Xavier McKinney, Jeff Hafley was somewhere with a huge-ass smile, I guarantee you, when those news officially broke, because new defense coordinator, fresh face coming on into the NFL as a full-time DC. Safety's like his name of the game. Right, he needs it. Safety position is huge for defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. When he described what he's looking for in that position, it was kind of clear that they had to go more so with a veteran, and I don't mean like a 32, 33-year-old veteran. I'm just saying as opposed to, using it in the draft, trying to bolster the safety position with guys like Darnell Savage going away in free agency, or in the draft. Free agency was the better move. Here was his quote: "We want him to be a guy. When a ball carrier is wrapped up, he goes and he finishes off the pile. I want a guy who can go from sideline to sideline and take the ball away. I think that position has to be a guy with high ball production, meaning he's got to be able to intercept the ball." In addition to all that, Heffley said that the player must communicate the calls effectively. And Xavier, in 4 seasons with the New York Giants, 49 total games played, he had 279 career tackles, 9 interceptions, and 2 forced fumbles. And then this past season, when targeted by quarterbacks, he had a 52.1 pass rate, and that was the best in the NFL. So you re-sign Keyshawn Nixon, you re-sign Corey Ballantyne, and I know some non-Packers fans were a little bit concerned with the money that we spent to pick up a safety of that caliber. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's 24 years old. He's on his way to stardom. He's missed some time. Most of it was in his rookie season, but then a couple of years back, he got into an ATV accident, and I believe he broke his wrist, which sidelined him for the rest of the season. But folks, Xavier's he's a dog. He has a 92.0 coverage grade at safety since 2020. That's number 1 in the NFL. Folks, that's the best stat in the NFL at the safety position as far as coverage grade goes. Among all safeties in 2023, 81.1 zone coverage grade, that's 7th in the NFL. 85.5 man coverage grade, that's 3rd in the NFL. 52.1 opponent's passing rating, that was 1st in the league, like we just mentioned. And then 57 pass play tackles, 2nd in the league. And that's important because of what Jeff Hafley just said, the quote we just ran through. So, like, this dude's one of the best in the damn business. And you should be ecstatic. You know, I know my fellow Packers fans watching this video right now are absolutely ecstatic because, you know, historically, we are not a team that signs players in free agency in general, let alone giving fat contracts. Now, I do want to say real quick before we get into Josh Jacobs, I wouldn't be surprised if the Green Bay Packers were to go out there and sign Jeff Simmons from the Denver Broncos in free agency. But at this point, with all the money being spent, it does kind of seem like a long shot. But I will just say, if they pick him up, watch out. We've said like all offseason, if the Green Bay Packers, you know, last season technically were the 10th best defense in the NFL. If Jeff can get us closer to top 5 than closer to top 10, the Green Bay Packers with Jordan Love continuing to ascend, continuing, you know, all of our offensive production, all of our offensive skill players. If these guys keep doing their thing, the Green Bay Packers will be in many NFC championship games and hopefully many Super Bowls and hopefully many Super Bowl rings. Now, I saw an interesting tweet. This was from AI. I hate AI. I do just want to let the record show. But they predicted Josh Jacobs' stats this season: 1,200 rushing yards, 8 touchdowns, 45 catches, 350 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Folks, Josh Jacobs is the real deal. And I just saw a poll that a lot of Packers fans ideally would have liked Aaron Jones to be back. I think if I told you at the beginning of free agency that Aaron Jones was going to be gone and A.J. Dillon was going to be back, you'd be like, well, what the hell do they have in mind? Why on earth would we ever do that? Josh Jacobs in 2022, 2 seasons ago, 97.2 rushing yards per game, 1st in the league. 1,653 rushing yards, 1st in the league. 4.9 rushing yards per attempt, 1st team All-Pro. The dude was a beast, and we're pairing him up with Jordan Love, who in weeks 11 to 18, 269 passing yards per game, 1st in the NFL. 18 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2nd in the NFL. 112.7 passing rating, 2nd in the NFL. Jordan Love on play action in weeks 9 to 18, 124.1 rating. That is the best in the NFL. Folks, Josh Jacobs is younger. He's younger. And the Green Bay Packers, and we talked about this in our last Packers video, they want to win, but they want to win long term. Like, we have our franchise guys. So, yeah, I love Aaron Jones. I wish he was still a Green Bay Packer 100%. I actually hope he returns as Green Bay Packer one day in the future. But Josh Jacobs is younger. Money aside, I just do think he's going to give us better production. And, you know, as long as he stays healthy, but the same thing can be applied to Aaron Jones. So I'm really through the moon with Xavier McKinney and Josh Jacobs. I think the Green Bay Packers have absolutely killed it in free agency thus far. And in a couple of hours, tomorrow, we will have day 2. So let me know any new Green Bay Packer free agent acquisitions you would like Goot to look into. And then give me a grade rating for the Green Bay Packers free agency thus far. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend.